In this course, I will be talking about rendering. So first, rendering is the process of generating a video or image using 2D or 3D models with applied systems within a computer program. So that means Blender should also have a rendering feature. But though, you need to know this first. So whenever something renders, they always have this rendering engine. So you see this engine panel at the top. You can select your engine. Actually, Blender Game is for making games, so that's not what we're gonna do right now. Maybe later if you want to. So anyway, all of these render engines have their own systems or own ways of calculating, like the shadows, the lights, the models, or everything. And each of them have their different speed and different quality. So the most basic render engine here is Blender Render, or Blender Internal if you want to call that. And it's basically one of the most fastest, actually not the fastest, but it's the most basic render engine you can see in this window here. So yeah, basically renders what you want. Well, actually, so if you're a Blender starter, it's good for you to use Blender Render. And if you have a computer that's not as strong, yeah, Blender Render will be a good choice for you to use first. However, if you have a good PC with a good GPU, you can go, or if you want to start making high quality materials, you can use Cycles Render. So Cycles Render and Blender Render, they have different systems. So yeah, you'll have to actually make a new type of material. The two materials you make, the materials you make in Blender Internal will not work in Cycles, and the Cycles material won't work in Blender Internal. And that's same for all the other render engines in this world. Like, for example, Pixar, they have their own render engine. And maybe that's the secret, they're actually making their animations as high quality. But they actually sell the render engine, so you can actually apply that one day. So if you have a good GPU on your computer, if you don't know what GPU is, I'll tell you personally. So this actually gives you a further range of options of what you want to do with your materials, and actually it can make much more high quality. Since this Blender software developers, they worked much harder on Cycles Render than Internal. So, and actually, there's this system called nodes, and what nodes do are to the node editor. But okay, you don't need to follow this. I'm just showing you something. So yeah, there's a load of type of branches you can add, and this enables you to actually work on further many options on your material. And if you actually try to render this, it's gonna take some time on a weak computer though. But if you can afford the computer power, you can always make what you want. So when you want to pick this course and you have no idea about Blender material design or making, you will have to learn Blender Internal first in order to understand the basics of 3D. And if you are finished with Internal, you can actually move on to the Cycles course. So that depends on your decision. So actually if you're listening to me right now in this class, so you will have to make or accomplish a project in the end. So actually you can work for the entire time on materials, and later on you can team up with another guy who's doing 3D, and you design the materials, and you can actually team up with them and make a good outcome. It depends on you.